Good evening and welcome to another Leadership in Action video brought to you here by Alexander Watson. And tonight we're going to talk about implicit bias. I'm going to give you a definition and then I'm going to have you think about it a little bit by giving you a couple of examples, and then we'll talk about how to overcome it. So the definition is actually listed as: in social identity theory, an implicit bias or implicit stereotype is the pre-reflective attribution of particular qualities by an individual to a member of some social out group. So I first read that and I thought, what are you talking about? And I was talking with a police officer actually that was describing how this is happening with the police force, how they're using implicit bias on a regular basis, and that's why we have a disparity of people being ticketed, people being arrested, things of that nature are happening in our society, and it's because of implicit bias. So basically what we got going on is, well, let's close our eyes for a moment. I want you to picture yourself walking into a convenience store. As you're walking up, there's a man by the door who has a very dirty shirt on and no shoes. He holds the door open for you, which is polite enough. But what's your judgment call about him? Do you assume that he's homeless? Do you assume that he's destitute? Do you even make the assumption maybe that he's an addict looking for a score? That all might be the case. Or it might be a guy who has been working hard all day, his sole broke on his shoe, and he's just trying to get home so he can get a new pair of shoes, waiting on it. His wife's waiting on him. Could be something like that. But that's implicit bias. So what we do is we make judgments about someone based upon their appearance, based upon what they're wearing, how they act, how they talk, how they walk, even how they carry themselves. We're making all these small judgments. And even with a job application, the name on a job application can indicate implicit bias because you might not be able to pronounce the name, and so you automatically make judgments about that person. Well, really, the shortcoming is in yourself. You're automatically making assumptions about someone else because you don't want to face realities about yourself. So what you got to do is you got to put your biases aside. Just because they don't have a name that you would necessarily attribute to a certain quality of an individual, that doesn't give you the right to make a judgment call about them as a person. And this happens all the time in HR. HR is terrible about this. We have really got to step our games up. My name, I asked an HR professional why I was getting passed over on my resumes on a regular basis. And that HR person said, I came across stuffy. And I said on my application, dedicated leader, striving to be the best I can be, striving to make others the best they can be, helping others in heart of servitude. I don't understand why there's a stuffiness that comes with that. She said, well, it's your name. Yeah, my name. My name gave across a stuffy attitude. There's nothing I can do about that. That's my name. So I got thinking about this a little bit more. How do we overcome this? Well, first we have to be aware of it. Making yourself aware of this bias is the first step in overcoming it, because if you don't know that you're doing it, you don't know what you don't know. So what you have to do is you have to learn, you have to figure out what you don't know, which is very difficult, which is why I'm here to help. I'm here to bring some of these things to light, some of these things that I'm learning along the way. I'm here to share with you. So here it is. The way to overcome it is to consciously make a decision each and every day to not judge others around you simply based upon their appearance. Don't automatically assume anything about anyone. Assumptions are not your friend. Making assumptions about other people are detrimental to your well-being, detrimental to the well-being of your business, detrimental to the well-being of your leadership abilities, detrimental to those you lead, because you can't lead other people in the business world if you automatically have assumptions about them and judgments about what they can and can't do. Now, does it happen? All the time. We've got terrible CEOs out there. We've got terrible leaders out there. We've got teams where you're talking to a leader of the team and he's like, well, I wasn't even aware that he could do something like that. And it's like, well, that's because you had a bunch of assumptions about him and you pigeonholed him and you stuck him in a slot in your brain of what he's capable of and what he's not capable of, when you really have no idea, because you haven't talked to him, you haven't gotten to know him, you don't know your staff, you don't know what's going on in your own company, but yet you claim to be a leader. And that is the problem. We have to learn a whole new way of leadership structure in business across the board. HR needs to be completely revamped in so many industries. Your credit score, your medical debt, your student loan debt is not who you are. Who you are is an individual comprised of a great many attributes and skills and abilities and shortcomings and weaknesses and strengths. You're a complex person. Every individual out there is a complex person. You can't judge a candidate that you're trying to hire upon a couple of cookie cutter criteria. It just doesn't work. The numbers are skewed on a regular basis to imply that if you find an individual with X, Y, and Z, they are automatically going to be a good fit for your company. Well, guess what? You're wrong. I can't tell you how many X, Y, and Z box people I know that are horrible employees, but they got good credit, no student loan debt. But they're lazy, they're sluggish, they don't want to help others, they don't care about the company they work for, they're only caring about their paycheck. They are not looking forward to putting their best foot forward because in their idea, in their mind, they're already getting paid. Why put forth any more effort? And they check off all the boxes, though, on a regular basis. So what do we really need to look for? Instead of looking for performance, we need to start looking at whether or not an individual has characteristics that are beneficial for a business, trustworthiness, thinks outside the box, helpful, heart of servitude, honorable, respectful. These things go a long way in a business, especially trustworthiness. If I can trust you, that means I can give you more responsibilities in your business, and that's going to help you grow as an individual, which, guess what? That's part of leadership, bringing others with you, bringing others up. And it all starts with trust. So, implicit bias, how do we overcome it? We stop making assumptions about people and we start learning about people instead. That's what I got for tonight. And remember, it all starts with you. I can show you the way, I can tell you a million things about everything, but until you make the decision to start being a better you for other people around you on a regular basis, none of this means anything. Thank you for watching. I pray that you're trying to do the next right thing and better yourself each and every day so that those around you have the leader they deserve. Have a great night. Thanks.